All right. We got about 1 minute before we start hearing radio sound.
Okay.
Broadcast taking off.
Okay.
Do 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 do. Think it's going to be a pretty dynamic show. All right, let's do it.
You are listening to Bitter Cup Media, where inspired, controversial conversation matters. Your broadcast will begin in less than 2 minutes. We thank you for joining, and remember, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another.
Though he slay me, yet will I trust him. I'll trust in the Lord. Though talked about and misunderstood. Yes, I've been lied on. But still, endure for a night. But I'm ready. I still enjoy. Everybody say, hey. The world didn't live this joy. The world can't take it away. Say, hey. Put your hands up. Here we go. After all that I've been through. I still have joy. Hey, still. I still have joy. Still. I still have joy.
This is Shanina Shoemate from Oakland, California. You are listening to Issues After Dark.
Because the nighttime is the right time to have inspiring, controversial conversations that matter. It's time for Issues After Dark with your hosts, Donna Williams and Dion Evans. Issues After Dark is a deeper dive in today's breaking news, trending social media, and pop culture from a biblical perspective. Gather your thoughts, get your questions ready. Your hosts, Donna and Dion, will be taking your calls via the Bitter Cup Media Zoom line, as well as interacting with your social media commentary regarding today's topics. And now, Issues After Dark with Donna Williams and Dion Evans.
Well, all right. It's Issues After Dark with Donna Williams and Dion Evans. And this is the first time since we've been back that we've gone 3 nights straight.
How about that?
How's your body feeling?
I need a nap.
I take a nap before the broadcast.
I do too. I do too.
I get a good nap in before the broadcast because I'm like, look, I gotta be on my A game. You never know who's gonna call in on the Zoom line and challenge you.
Absolutely.
You gotta have a sharp mind.
Absolutely.
Today, let's just drop the subjects and we're gonna get into like the top thing we personally kind of did today, getting into the broadcast. Today, topic number 1, we didn't get to do justice yesterday. segment 3. Kind of got away from us. So we wanted to bring it back. Young man Damar Hamlin, safety for the Buffalo Bills, number 3. And the whole idea of thoughts and prayers, he suffered a cardiac arrest on the football field. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Not only give an update, because I got an update on ESPN. They gave a very good update today on ESPN about his progress, and about 3 people who are closely connected to him gave some credible information about behind the scenes what's going on with him. And so I want to be able to lift that information. But the majority of that conversation is going to be on the subject thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
It's one thing when you're talking about thoughts and prayers and the act has happened. It's final. It is over. Club shooting, families are in our thoughts and prayers. Okay, but they're already gone. There's no coming back from that.
Right.
And this young man's life is hanging in the balance. When you say thoughts and prayers, it has a deeper understanding that must be manifested.
Right.
We're going to talk about that in segment number 1. Segment number 2, this was shocking. Dana White, president of the UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship, MMA. We're going to talk about the subject on hitting women. Because this, let me tell you, I'm going to, in this segment, probably make some of you real happy, and at the same time, going to make some of you real mad. Especially looking at this in light of the times we live in. Dana White hitting women. TMZ Sports, TMZ Sports has become the breaking news, I would say breaking news section on all professionals who get themselves in a lot of trouble. They find a way to get that video.
They've always done that, though. That's their shtick, is getting that topic, that news right away. I don't know how they do it. They're good at it.
They are on it.
Yeah.
You can't look, if it happened and I don't care if the camera was in an elevator and you didn't even know one was there.
Right.
TMZ's gonna get it.
Absolutely.
You're not hiding nothing
from TMZ. No.
And so Dana White is very rich. Very rich.
Okay.
And yet there's nothing about his richness or his whiteness that halted this story from getting out. Happened on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. Various angles on that. I'm not giving the political angles. I mean, we'll talk about the political angles, but I'm going to challenge you.
Yeah.
And then topic number 3. Our subject for number 3 is future topics and special guests. Let's have a conversation, Don. Just sound like an open dialogue on what are some show topics you want to discuss in the future, and who are some people that we would like to have as guests on the broadcast in the future. So we'll have a great back and forth on that. And then we want to invite you, the listeners. We want to invite you to actually chime in on the Zoom line or right there on the in the comment section. And we want to hear your thoughts. Who would you like to see us interview as a special guest, and what topics would you like us to cover? These are things that we're interested in. We're interested in what you're interested in. We know you're interested in the things we're interested in. But we also want to make sure that we're interested in the things you're interested in. Donna, what was your highlight of the day?
Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm trying to think, what's their highlight of the day? Getting home before the rain started. How about that? I only worked part-time. So I got home before the rain really started to come down. So.
Well, wasn't the rain supposed to be in the commute, and then it was supposed to be real bad, like about 4:00?
Yes, it was supposed to be really bad about that time. And schools, I heard that the Oakland Unified School District closed school early. Well, today is their short day anyway.
Today's minimum day anyway.
Yeah, but they were saying that they wouldn't have classes tomorrow. I don't know.
It's supposed to be real bad tonight.
Yeah.
But what has been forecasted has not really manifested to me.
No.
I told myself, I know what the atmospheric river sounds like.
Yeah.
And I believe Letitia and I were driving down 580 one time when an atmospheric river came down, because I had never seen water like that fall out the sky. And we literally were like stopping on the freeway because the visibility was gone. You couldn't see anything. It was after that I heard this whole term atmospheric river. I'm like, atmospheric river.
I don't know where they came. I was born and raised in Texas, so we called it sheets of rain. Where the rain came down, it was just like a sheet, and you could not see anything in front of you. And you knew if you could get off the road, then get off the road because you can't see anything at all.
And then everything's made of concrete here, so then you get the flooding, and all of that type of stuff going on.
Yeah. And Californians don't know how to. I won't say don't know how to drive. Won't drive the way they should in the rain. They think they can continue with their same speed.
Well, that's how I drive. Same speed.
You're riding on top of the water. If you
you don't drive you don't drive to the extreme areas of the freeway. You can't drive the same speed if you're driving the slow lane. Yeah, you got to slow down. There's water over there, or depending on how the freeway. If you're in the fast lane, you got to slow down. There's water over there. But during the rain, you try to drive in the middle.
Oh, see, you should tell some of your drivers on the freeway that.
They don't know how to drive. It took me literally a half hour to get from one exit to the next.
Yeah.
A half an hour because they took all of the 4 lanes of traffic and they merged all 4 lanes off at 150th.
Oh, wow. Because it must have been flooded on 580.
Because you're right there at the freeway, it goes underneath.
Right.
It was flooded down there.
Right.
And, it'd have been all bad if cars would have been, if they were driving as fast as I was driving, it would have been all bad.
Yeah, it would have been ugly.
Hydroplaning is real.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my son, right before all of this rain, he was asking me about hydroplaning. And, we told him what it was about. Now he gets to see it. He's been able to experience it a little bit. I did hit a puddle and then the wheels said woo woo and the little signal came on the car.
Right.
He's like, what was that? What was that? Remember we talking about hydroplane? That's hydroplane.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Drifting, which y'all call it. If y'all do it on purpose.
Yeah.
For me, the most interesting thing today was getting a text message from my daughter. She went through her orientation today.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know the update, Deja is now in law school.
Wonderful.
And she's transferred from the University of Georgia, and she got accepted into USC and Emory. She chose USC. And today was her first day of orientation for USC. So I got me a Trojan.
There you go.
I'm mad at them because they lost the bowl game against Tulane. Pac-12 is not supposed to lose to Tulane.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little disturbed.
My grandson's a Trojan. He graduated from USC. And then my daughter got her doctorate at USC. So I had 2 Trojans in the family.
So if I need some navigation tools, I can just come to Donna, not Eva Williams, and figure out how to ensure my daughter navigates this torrential rain of SC.
Well,
so I've tasked you tomorrow.
Yes.
With coming up with all of the topics for the show.
Yes.
Are you up to that challenge?
Oh my goodness gracious, alive! I am going to do the research. I'm going to dig in. 2 topics have come to mind, but we need 2 more, right? Is that right?
Yeah, you got to have 3.
Got to have 3. So 1 more. 2 topics have come to mind.
Have 2 topics. You need 1 more.
I need 1 more. I have to go back and look at the articles and things, or maybe it's just some personal reflection I have that we might want to dive into.
Well, it's your call. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
What's happening to Gabriella Culliver? That's what's up.
Hello.
Miss Nina, she's on with us. Good to see you ladies with us tonight. I'm gonna go over this. Let me go over the topics again. Topic number 1, Damar Hamlin, thoughts and prayers. We're gonna get into that. When somebody's life is on the line, thoughts and prayers take on a whole different meaning. We're gonna get into that after the music break. Then we have topic number 2, Dana White hitting women. We're gonna have a conversation on hitting women. Again, I ain't really trying to hurt nobody, but this hitting women thing, we gotta have look. All I really want to have in that segment, Donna, is an honest dialogue.
Okay.
I am not a proponent of hitting women.
Yeah.
But doggone it, I understand it more than ever in life.
Yeah.
I understand it more than ever. And I think there are some things we need to question. I'm not saying it should happen.
Right.
But doggone it, in the manner in which it happens, that needs to be looked at.
That part.
All hitting of women situations are not the same. They're just not. They're treated the same, but they are not. We'll get there. And then topic number 3 for tonight's broadcast, episode 7, future topics and special guests. So we want to hear from you, the people.
Right.
You can start, popping in on the comments now. We'll go back to it and that segment. Who are some people you would like to see on this show? That you would like to hear me and Donna interview?
Yeah.
And then what are, maybe not a guest, what's a topic?
Right.
What's a topic you want to hear us talk about? My wife has been sending me topics. And I didn't know what she was saying. Like, what do you just come tell me what you want to tell me? Don't be texting me. You're in another room. Then I found out, these are topics. Oh, okay. Well, these topics is going to be some juicy. This is Issues After Dark. Donna Williams, Deon Evans. Let's take this first music break. We'll be back.
Reach over and tell somebody, I'm going all the way. Woo! The presence of God is in this place tonight. All the way, I'm going all the way. All the way, I'm going all the way. All the way, I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way with the Lord. Put those hands up and tell him all the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I made a promise, Lord, every day of my life. All the way. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way with the Lord. I've made my decision. I made my decision. I'm going all the way. I've made my choice. I've made my choice. Somebody tell him tonight. I've made my decision. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way with the Lord. Come on, sing it with me all the way. All the way. Thank you, Jesus. There's nobody like you, Lord. You made this promise, Jesus. Lift your hands and tell him all the way. Hallelujah. I'm going all the way with the Lord. No turning back. No turning back. I'm going all the way. No turning back. No turning back. Yeah, 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 yeah. Somebody shouted, no turning back.
Cry, Jesus, not me, 'cause I throw hands. Try, Jesus, please don't try me, 'cause I fight. I know what he said. about getting slapped. But if you touch me or mine, we gonna have to scrap. So, tragic.
You're listening to Issues After Dark with Donna Williams and Dion Evans. Let's get into segment one. Segment one is Damar Hamlin. And I want to jump into it because yesterday we tried to cover this topic and just ran out of time. It happens sometimes. We were able to bring it back. ESPN had a pretty good report today. Damar Hamlin shows, quote, signs of improvement.
Okay.
Buffalo Bills and others have said. So Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin remains hospitalized in critical condition, but showed signs of improvement that were observed Tuesday and overnight into Wednesday.
Okay.
Bill said Wednesday in a statement that Hamlin is expected, quote, is expected to remain under intensive care as his healthcare team continues to monitor and treat him. Those of you who may not be aware, on Monday Night Football in about the middle of the first quarter, Damar Hamlin, safety for the Buffalo Bills, number 3, made a routine tackle on T. Higgins, wide receiver of the Cincinnati Bengals. And after the routine tackle, he stood up to his feet like you would expect a football player to stand to their feet. And within a second and a half of standing to his feet, he fell backwards. Didn't even brace himself. He was gone. He was out on his feet, and he landed backwards. Praise God, he had on a helmet.
Yes.
And they had, now the paramedics brought the ambulance onto the field, and it was told that they performed CPR. And that was something that had never, ever been seen in pro football or college. And you think about how many years football has been played and how dangerous it's always been categorized, yet never in the history of the sport on national televised football game was CPR administered on the gridiron. Yet they had to give him CPR twice.
That
to the people as we get ready to discuss this out, Don. Let me do that.
Okay.
For segment one. When it comes to praying for someone's life, especially life-saving, what does one need to know about thoughts and prayers? Because we hear it all the time. All over Twitter. He's in my thoughts. He's in my prayers. And I'm like, wait a minute. When we talk about thoughts and prayers, and our prayers are necessary for someone's survival, you better know what prayer is and who it must be directed to.
Yes.
We had Kelsey answer that. We had Brian answer that. We'll get to their answers in a minute. Let me read more on this update. Jordan Rooney, he's a friend and business partner of Hamlin. He did an interview on ESPN with Coley Harvey, and he stated that Hamlin was still sedated at the time, less than 2 days after he went into cardiac arrest on the field during the Bills game against the Cincinnati Bengals. So for all of you who were conspiracy theorists and not real sure of what happened and you thought it had something to do with him getting the COVID vaccine a couple of years ago, look, they know what's wrong with him. They didn't know on the field, which you don't expect there to be doctors on the field, but once they got him transported to the hospital, they're able to run tests on him. He suffered cardiac arrest, which is different from a heart attack. And
Right.
Different.
His heart
Cardiac
stopped.
arrest is something that it happens to the heart. The others is the heart giving way unto itself.
Right.
Rooney told Harvey that doctors saw, listen to this, promising readings overnight from Hamlin that had they hoped to see by Wednesday morning. So the doctors had expected to see certain vitals on Wednesday, from Tuesday night, and on Wednesday morning they saw the vitals they were looking for. So they have great hope. Hamlin's agent, Ron Butler, he told ESPN's Jerry Fowler on Tuesday night that Hamlin's oxygen levels had improved. Now, this is what's important to me, because we know that when they took him off the field and he was in the ambulance and they paused the ambulance to wait on his mother to come down the stands onto the field and into the ambulance so she can ride with him. At that very moment, he was not breathing on his own.
Right.
They had a pulse. They did CPR on him twice. They did CPR on him and brought him back. He went out again. They performed CPR on him again and brought him back, put a trach in his throat, and then start to take him out of the stadium, and then had to pause because they had to wait for his mom. Remember, he plays for Buffalo Bills, and they were all playing away. So his family is there. They're not from Cincinnati. And let me just give a shout out, because everything I am hearing about the Cincinnati Bengals fans is stellar. These two teams fight hard on the gridiron, but this situation has caused the Cincinnati Bengals nation to rally behind the Bills and definitely rally behind Damar Hamlin. There are even reports of families offering the family free Airbnb. There are restaurants who are offering, look, don't worry about food. Come to our restaurant. We're going to feed you. Don't even worry about it.
Wow. That's good.
So here's the part I really wanted to get to. Hamlin has an uncle named Dorian Glenn, and he gave an amazing update. He said that there were some encouraging signs in his nephew's progress, such as doctors lowering the level of oxygen Hamlin needs, watch this, Donna, from 100% to 50%.
Wow.
So he went from not breathing on his own to now he's at a point where he's at least breathing 50%. Yeah, and that's good news. Like I said, good. I don't know if he'll play ball again. I don't know if he'll be able to play the sport again. And at this point, it's irrelevant. He can be an ambassador.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's breathing at 50% is in the right direction.
Absolutely. It was scary. Yeah, this is what Pastor Demetrius, it was super scary.
Super scary. And I didn't see it live. I once it became a viral issue, then I went to look and I'm like, okay, what happened? And then when I saw the play, I'm like, okay, that can't be the play. And then blam. Yes. It was very reminiscent of Hank Gathers from Loyola Marymount University. I saw that game.
Oh, you did?
That was I don't know if you've seen the documentary on that one. The one with Hank Gathers, that was cocaine infused in that situation. A lot of people went to jail. A lot of people had to stand on that one. And but in this case, the Buffalo Bills case, this was just a routine hit. And like I said, as a football coach myself, my big question is an equipment question. Did he have his shoulder pads on properly? See, the person watching the game, you guys don't know that the shoulder pads, for the most part, they have a string that runs through the sternum area. And you got to tie those real tight, and you test them by putting your finger near the strings. If your finger can go through the string and touch the chest cavity, it isn't tied properly. Now, they have come out with some shoulder pads of late that don't have strings at all. It's just this mesh across, and it just keeps it, it kind of keeps it drilled in place. I don't know what type of shoulder pads he was wearing, but if he was wearing shoulder pads that had the string, I wonder if they were tied tight. Because if they weren't, then that helmet to sternum went straight to his chest, straight to his heart. And so I'm sure information on that will come out a little later. Denise Renee, she chimes in out of Los Angeles. She says, Cincinnati has stepped up. Yes, that is wonderful. Nina Bina chimes in on it, and she says, that's a good report. That's a good report. So let's get to the question, Donna.
Yes.
Let's get to the question. When it comes to praying for someone's life, especially life-saving, what does one need to know about thoughts and prayers? I want to hear you.
Well, first of all, the thoughts, I don't know what thoughts can do. You can hold good thoughts for people, but that doesn't have an impact on any change in their lives. Holding good thoughts that they get better, holding good thoughts that all goes well. It's the prayer part when you say you're holding prayers, and number one, are you praying? Or you're holding prayers, hoping someone else is praying? What does it mean to hold a prayer? Or do you instantly go into prayer? Now, here's the thing. We can say holding thoughts and prayers. The question is, do you instantly go into prayer, or are you just saying something because you can't think of anything else to say? It's like people who try to come up with something when people are grieving. And so they'll just say a thing because they don't know what to say. And
Right.
I've heard someone say this before. Holding thoughts and prayers, what does that say to the family? We're just holding thoughts and prayers for you.
I don't know what thoughts are.
Yeah,
I hear it, and and a majority of the time when I hear this, it's in political realms or after the fact.
Yeah.
My concern about prayer is that prayer is real.
Mhm.
You can talk about all the different religions, all the different world faiths, all that kind of stuff. There's only one.
Right.
There's only one where the person who claimed to be God taught us how to pray.
Yes.
And if you
Yes.
don't pray according to that, if you don't pray according to that purpose, then you should have no expected right to be heard. Here's the problem with that. When somebody's life is hanging in the balance, they need you to be heard. When
Yeah.
I can't pray for myself, Donna,
Yes.
I need to know you can.
Yes.
Your life can't be so polluted that you got to first deal with all the sins and forgiveness for yourself before God will grant you permission to even pray. I need you to be able to get a word to the Lord immediately.
Right.
And I think it would be worse for Christians, for those of us who have the responsibility to be praying without ceasing. When a situation like this happens, we need to be ready to pray. Stop what you're doing
Immediately. Yeah.
and start praying. But here's my concern. My concern is the people who don't at all believe God. They don't at all believe in Jesus. They are anti-Christ.
Right. But they're
When they
holding
say
thoughts.
thoughts and prayers, what are they talking about? And do they know the danger that they're putting themselves in?
Not if they don't believe. They don't see any danger in saying holding thoughts and prayers. It just shows that I am concerned. That's it. It's a statement of concern. It's not necessarily a statement of action.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's a statement of concern, but if my life is depending upon your thoughts and prayers and you can't pray,
yeah.
how concerned are you really? And let me ask this question for those who are, atheistic. Who do you pray to? If you're an atheist, what are thoughts and prayers? Are these just positive affirmations from one's own mind? Are you vibing? Because this man's life is on the line and there's no power of positive thinking that's going to change that. Prayer is real and the focus of prayer is real, and it concerns me. I should say it doesn't concern me so much about non-believers, because you can't expect a non-believer to do believer stuff.
Right.
But what about the believers who were saying, oh, I'm going to pray for you?
It's the praying hand emojis in social media.
That?
It's just praying hands.
When people use that, do they actually believe that is a prayer?
I'm
Just
concerned.
Saying, to me, if prayer is always important.
Yes.
And so if there is a situation where prayer is a necessary conversation for change, then why do we wait? This man needs help now. How do you wait? It's like when have you ever had somebody walk up to you and Donna say,
yes,
pray for me?
I was just thinking that. And you say, I will, and then you walk off.
I'm like,
and
if you
forget.
want me to pray for you, hand me your hands.
Yes, let's pray now.
And let's pray right now, because when I get in my car or when I go to my next station, or if you walk away,
I'm probably going to forget.
Some people ask in a miss, pray for me. Is that you just saying that to say, what do you want me to pray for?
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, but you don't want me to pray for you. If this is, don't ask why. I see it in Facebook. I need prayers, but don't ask why. I don't know what to pray.
Right, because prayer is specific. It is not.
Yeah.
It is not this thing where you just say, God, you know all things. Do something about whatever it is. I don't even know what it is.
Exactly.
Well, I know how to pray. I know how to talk to the Lord. Because I follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. Right. I know what God is going to accept.
Right.
When it comes to prayer. Now, I believe any unbeliever praying for belief, acknowledging belief, I believe whatever they say, God's going to hear that.
Right.
But then once you have done that, you need to learn how to communicate with God. And the Bible is not shy on sharing with us how to do that. So my question is, when it comes to praying for someone's life, especially a life-saving prayer, what does one need to know about thoughts and prayer? Kelsey Arsenault in Texas, she says, I think sometimes people begin to allow the limitations of personal experiences to enter their minds and prayer. Scripture doesn't say that sometimes God chooses to not heal, but because people have experienced unanswered prayer, they allow the experience to shape a theology and thus create a limited expectation.
Yeah.
And in the end, you can ask God anything.
Exactly.
But it doesn't mean he's going to say yes. And that's my problem with the people who preach prosperity gospel. We don't hear people talk like that too much anymore, or the power of positivity. We don't hear too much of that kind of stuff in the mainstream Christian circles these days. Right. But there are still a lot of people who have been duped into believing that you can tell God and he must do.
Name it and claim it.
That's not how it works at all. The one who is saved cannot tell the Savior how to act.
The creation telling the creator.
Right. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Brian Bingham chimes in. He says, one needs to know that God is sovereign. I like that. What is the purpose of praying? Unless you know that whom you're praying to is more sovereign. God is sovereign. He can hear me.
Yeah.
And if it be his will, he will answer me. But what happens when there's a lot of us asking? When there's a lot of us petitioning, it doesn't force him to bend, because his will is going to be his way.
Right.
But I believe that there are times where God is persuaded by the believer's belief that he can.
Well, you see that in the Old Testament. God has said, this is what's going to happen. Or the prophet or the people begin to pray, and he says, okay, it won't happen this time. And he goes back. He does not do what he said he was going to do, simply because people intervened.
He sent the prophet Jonah to Nineveh.
Right.
Yet 7 days, and you will be destroyed.
Right.
And they was like, word? We're going to be destroyed? They don't even like, ethnically speaking, they have major issues with Jonah's ethnicity. Exactly. And Jonah's problem is he has major ethical issues with them.
Right. That's why he didn't want to go.
Didn't want to go. You want me to go tell the Ku Klux Klan that you want me to tell them something that might cause them to repent? Because later on, what was his argument with God? That's why I told you I didn't want to go in the first place, because I knew he was going to show mercy.
The thing about Jonah is that he held that attitude until the end. But God still did what he did. He didn't change. But God did what he did.
God understood. God understood.
Yep.
Brian Bingham goes on to say, even if we pray earnestly according to the scriptures, asking in his name, etc., the outcome or God's will for one's life could be different.
Yeah.
So although I'm praying, and I am being responsible for what I desire for this fellow human's life,
it's up to God.
It's still up to God.
Up to God.
But if I pray, it helps me to understand the decision better. Because I'm telling you right now, and a lot of people may not like it, But if this young man, I believe he's going to pull through.
Mm-hmm.
But his quality of life is going to be so radically different.
Yeah.
He is going to need more of our prayers.
Absolutely.
Why? Because I'm not sure he can go back to the gridiron after this. Not like this. I don't know if he would want. I've yet to meet a football player who has finally gotten to the height, and he's new. It's not like he's at the retiring age. It's not like he's not a good player. This young man is dope. He deserves to be there. Look, I was listening to a local reporter on a sports station earlier who's been following this young man since he was in high school.
Oh, wow.
He says, I've known this young man since he was in the 10th grade. He won the state championship. He said he went on to Pitt, and he was a star at Pitt. He got drafted by the Bills. He's playing. That young man has been in the league 2 years, Donna.
Yeah.
He don't want to stop playing football. But we don't know what. Now, you can have some thoughts around that.
Right.
Or you can start praying for him in a complete recovery.
Yeah.
Issues After Dark. We'll be back.
First Peter 5:8 says, cast all your cares upon him because he cares for you. Hebrews 12:1 says, lay aside every weight and sin that easily entraps us. Guys, you got to give all that stuff to God and lay that at the feet of Jesus. And in exchange, pick up some rest. My yoke is easy and burden is light. He's calling you. Come on. All ye heavy laden, and all ye heavy hearted, and all ye heavy burden. Oh come, the Lord will give you rest. Oh come, He will give you rest. Bring it back one time. All ye, come on, heavy laden. All ye heavy hearted. Thank you, Lord. And all ye heavy burden. Oh, come. The Lord will give you rest. Yes, He will. Oh, come. He will give you rest. Come and be filled. Come and be filled. Come and be healed. Oh, come and be healed. Come and be filled. Come on, y'all. Oh, come and be filled by the Spirit of the Lord. The Spirit of the Lord. Take them back to the top. Come on. All ye heavy laden. All ye, thank you, Jesus, heavy hearted. And all ye heavy burden. Oh come, the Lord will give you rest. Oh come, He will give you rest. One more time. All ye heavy laden. All ye heavy-hearted, lay it all down to Him. And all ye, heavy burden. Oh come, the Lord will give you rest. Oh come, He will give you rest. Raise your hands up and say, come and be filled. Oh come and be healed. Oh, come and be filled by the Spirit of the Lord. It's only by the name of Jesus. The Spirit of the Lord. Take them to the school, y'all.
Woke up this morning to somebody in a video talking about something I posted in a video. If it wasn't me, then would you even get offended? Or is it just because I'm black and heavy? Y'all don't hear me though. I've been the same since I've been driving slow on Bissonnet. Call up anybody I know and they will tell you that fame is pretty new, but I've been used to people judging me. That's why I move the way I move and why I'm so in love.
Issues After Dark. We just completed segment number 1. Gonna go a little overtime minute. Gabby Culliver, she says, does he have a heart arrhythmia like AFib? Now, I can't say yes or no, but I can say this. Every year you play football, you have to go get a sports physical by a doctor. From the time you're playing Pop Warner, you graduate into high school, you go to college, you're taking a full-on physical that goes over those type of things. In the pros, before they will even draft you, before they're going to select you in the 6th round, you've already been seen by doctors and EKGs. They want to know all of that stuff, because if they draft you and then all of a sudden they find out something like that happens, you're not going to be available to play. Right. And so they lose a member of the team. They've lost a draft pick. And so there's a lot of money involved in who you pick to play on your football team. So I would think that it would have been undiagnosed.
Right.
But definitely before he was drafted and every year after, he is going to be checked by doctors for these type of routine things. And so basically his heart experienced trauma, and that trauma, and let me tell you, the trauma that he went through was so rare, you'll have a hard time finding it anywhere else in the sport. In a sport as violent as football is, that was the first time you saw that. The first time you saw that. Denise Renee, she chimes in, she says, 1 John 5, God hears our prayers and answers according to his will. Amen.
His will. Yeah.
Somebody ought to say hallelujah, because that's the word.
Yeah. Yep.
Look, it is a privilege and an honor to pray and be heard by the God of the universe.
Yes.
But the answer to my prayer is always going to be on him. He does not owe me a yes or no, simply because I prayed.
I remember Dr. Tony Evans' wife passed away, and the world was praying for them as they knew this couple, knew Dr. Evans and Dr. Lois, and his son, the youngest son, gave eulogy at her services. She passed away, and he had this conversation with God. We prayed. Everyone was praying. And he said that God's response to him was, my answer was either going to be yes or yes. Yes, she would be healed on this side, or yes, she would be healed on the other side. And that yes meant she would no longer be with them, but she was with God. And so his yeses are not the yeses we want all the time. Right.
And you know, there's an old hymn, I'm sure Donnie, you know it. And I understand the hymn, but it's biblically taxing on truth. And that is he won't never say no.
Jesus will never say no.
I'm sorry, but I've lived long enough, and I've been walking with the Lord long enough to know that there are times he not only says no, but once I recognize he said no, I say, you know what? I didn't want you to say no, but I'm glad you did.
Yes.
I'm glad you did.
Yes.
You know, and it happens. It happens. And so those of us who are people of faith, let's do a better job. Let's make sure that we're not politically following the ways. If you're on your job and something like this breaks out and somebody says, hey, let's keep Brother Hamlin in our thoughts and our prayers. If you're the believer and you hear that, you should you should see that as an opportunity to stop. We say thoughts and prayers. All right, let's all hold hands. Let's everybody share a thought. And I'll pray. And you see quickly people like, no, I mean, not right now. Well, wait a minute, what are we talking about? This man is he doesn't have time for us to wait till tomorrow.
Right.
He doesn't have time for us to scroll one more message on our phone.
Right.
He doesn't have time for us to check one more tweet, Pete. He needs prayer now.
Okay.
We got to give it now.
Okay.
All right, let's transition. Let's transition to segment number 2. This particular one. Look, if you love me, don't stop loving me after today.
Lordy.
Dana White hitting a woman. Here's the question I put out there. A man is married to his wife for nearly 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
One night while on vacation, for some reason or another, he is witnessed striking his wife violently in a fit of rage. His wife forgives him. He says this is not their normal interaction and issues an apology. Question: should this man be fired from his job if the video of this event goes public? Why or why not? I want to hear from you guys. I definitely want to hear from you guys. And if somebody would like to call in and share live, there's the Zoom. 760-765-3953. Use the passcode BLESS. Come in muted. And then I'll ask for your name. I'll call you and you'll be on with us. Donna, your initial thoughts on this segment. Dana White is the man. The head of, the president of the UFC, a part of Zuffa.
I had no idea who Dana White was until this moment, which shows how something can go viral and people who have never heard of you suddenly hear of you, but they only hear of you in this specific moment. They know nothing about your history. They know nothing about whatever good you may have done. They just see this moment, which is a moment to say, oh, yes, he needs to be canceled. He needs to be fired. He needs to be gotten rid of because he's in direct opposition. Number one, martial arts, but yeah, part of it's martial arts, right? So a man that strikes a woman that, what's MMA? I forgot what that
martial arts.
For. Yeah, mixed martial arts. So a man who is involved in that striking his wife is problematic for everyone. However, he didn't do it first. He just responded to what his wife did.
See, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going. Me and Letitia got into a heated discussion about this earlier today.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't say anything about the fact. I mean, they say that she struck him, but no one's going after her saying, hey, you should not have slapped your husband.
Well, here's the thing. And here's the hypocrisy for me.
Yeah.
Is he, let's just get it out there. Let's just get the cat out the bag. Is he wrong for striking his wife? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, we're not excusing that.
Right.
But all strikings of wives are not the same. It's not like he caught her or thought she was looking at some other dude and he smacked her up.
Right. Right.
He responded as a human being to being violated in his face, publicly humiliated. He didn't even think about it. It just happened. Now again, humanity happens.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever strike my wife. Yeah. But can you imagine me being in a church service and people are there and everybody knows who I am and I lean over to share something with my wife and out of nowhere she hauls off and slaps me in my face? I am not sure that in that moment of temporary insanity, I am not sure I'm not slapping her back.
Right.
And then being shocked that I actually did it.
It's a reaction. It's reaction to, and I know, but number two, there were these circumstances that they both were really drunk is what they say, Cootie Brown. Both of them were really drunk.
TMZ Sports, nightclub fight with wife on New Year's Eve. Dana
it's a slap a fight.
Say that again, Donna.
It's a slap a fight.
In this society of feminism, of cancel culture, you can put your finger in somebody's face. If you touch their cheek skin, it's considered an assault.
Yeah.
UFC honcho and Ann White, who've been married for 26 years, was celebrating Saturday night with friends. things took a turn after they welcomed in the new year at midnight. The couple and their group were in a VIP area above the dance floor, and when Dana leaned over to say something to Ann, she reacted by slapping him across the face.
Ooh.
Dana immediately slapped her back in the face before friends jumped in and pulled them apart, and it played out in plain view of patrons down below.
They saw
Wow.
it. They saw it. So it was she slapped him, he slapped her, friends
And the
intervened.
friends pulled them apart.
That was it.
Now, let me tell you, the White family, you better be glad you had friends to pull you apart. That was a good move.
Yeah.
To have friends to pull you apart.
Right.
Because what if she returns the slap? Or what if he felt his slap wasn't good enough? Or I'm gonna be in trouble anyway. I might as well finish the assignment.
But let me ask this. The thought has occurred to me, since he's involved in, or has been a part of fighting, how much of that was just reflex, the instinct from his background in martial arts and mixed martial arts?
I don't know. And I think when it comes to mixed martial artists, when it comes to boxers, I believe their hands are registered as weapons.
Right.
They're supposed to have a level of discipline where they just don't take off on the common individual.
Supposed to.
Exactly. But
you're
again,
human.
That's all things being fair.
Right.
If you look, she slapped him pretty good.
She must have.
She popped. I know the video. I put the video on Facebook. She popped him pretty good. And I guarantee you, because of his background in mixed martial arts, he did not pop her like an MMA fan. He popped her like a man abused.
Right.
He popped her like hold on, wait a minute. You ain't gonna just slap me. I'm gonna pop you back. It was like they were in a tunnel and they forgot the world was watching.
Right.
I mean, their welcome to 2023 was not good.
I wonder if she's done this before.
Well, it was funny. She does say in the article, I'll read I'll go jump down in the article. This is what she said, the wife. Dana and I have been married almost 30 years. To say this is out of character for him is an understatement. Nothing like this has ever happened before.
He never hit back.
Ultimately, this is what she continues to say. Ultimately, we were both drinking too much on New Year's Eve and things got out of control on both sides. We've talked this through as a family and apologized to each other. I just hope people will respect our privacy for the sake of our kids. And to that, I have to say, nope.
It's too late.
Too late.
Yeah.
You done made TMZ. Remember the running back for the Cleveland Browns, I believe? What was that young man's name? He's never sniffed another snap. Remember there was things about him and his girlfriend at the time? And she attacked him in an elevator and he mollywopped her and then he knocked her out and then had to slide her out of the elevator. And what did TMZ? TMZ got the video.
Right.
And when they aired that video, that young man's career was over. I forget his name.
So Kenneth Edwards put it in the Ray Rice for the Ravens.
Ray Rice. Yes. He responded. I think the only person who I've never seen respond to a physical altercation was Jay-Z.
Oh, in the elevator.
Attacked him. She attacked him in the elevator with Beyonce there, and Beyonce just stood there and didn't do nothing. And I think that's probably why he didn't attack, because he'd have popped Solange and they both would have probably jumped him in that elevator. I'm not sure his gangster rap would have helped him during that time. Let's get into this. Dana and Ann were heavily intoxicated prior to the violence, and the video seems to bear it out because things went from 0 to 100 in an instant, seemingly for no reason. Further, we're told that the conflict was all over in less than a minute. You see how they're trying to quarantine this.
Right.
I asked the question about should a man be fired from his job, because they're all over Twitter. People are asking for him to be fired. And if we're going to be honest, that's always the response to a man who hits a woman.
Right.
It doesn't matter if she comes forward. Ray Rice's girlfriend, they got married, and he still never got another opportunity to play in the NFL ever. He's done. And there are others. Ken Edwards, good brother. He said, I haven't seen the video at this time. He hadn't seen the video, but I know from recent history that the nature of a video will determine the outcome. Let me just stop right there for a minute. Why do we need a video? If a man hits a woman and it is confirmed he hit a woman, why does a video need to be held in order for decisions to be done? You don't need a video. If my wife and I get into a domestic disturbance and I call the police and say my wife is hitting on me, the police are going to show up.
Right.
They're going to separate us.
Right.
If it is determined that I hit her first, there is no question. I'm going to jail to get me out of the house for 24 hours.
Right.
If it's determined that she's hit me first, then she's going to jail.
Right.
For 24 hours.
Right.
If the police officers cannot determine who hit who first, it's going to be a coin toss. And typically, who gets the coin toss?
The woman. The man gets coin toss as far as going to jail. I mean, the coin toss is who's in favor. Who will be in favor of it? Be in favor of the woman.
Right. He goes on and say, does it matter that she slapped him first? Should she lose her job too? And that is what I want to get into.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I don't know what he said. What could he have said to her that caused her to haul off and slap him? I don't care if she's drunk.
Yeah.
I don't care that she's drunk. You're where you are. You're doing what you're doing. You're enjoying the pleasures of life. Your husband is definitely providing you an awesome life because he's sure not paying the athletes the way he should. They built the T-Mobile Center on his back. This guy is a partner with Zuffa. He is part owner of the UFC.
Right.
How do you fire him? And then here's the thing. You fire a man for responding to being assaulted because the assaultant is a woman? Help me, Donna. Help me. You're a woman.
Yeah.
I know politically we're supposed to toe the line and we're supposed to say man's not supposed to hit a woman. Look, I've gone on record several times. Yeah. I don't want to hit a woman ever, but if you spit on me, I forgot your gender.
Yeah.
I don't know you're a woman anymore after that. You spit on me, or if you slap me and you turn my face, you slap me hard enough to twist my neck, I don't know your gender no more. You just become transgender then.
If
I'm about to treat you like a dude.
Oh, look at you. If I slap a man, the next thing I'm going to do is duck.
But because you would know, if I slap him, it is natural for him to respond.
Right.
But we live in a society where people acting like what's natural is wrong. And I'm not saying it's right, but it ain't wrong. Take a quick break. We'll pick it up on the other side. Issues at the
You are listening to the Bitter Cup Media, where inspired, controversial conversations matter.
This song is for anybody that's going through something. Gray skies, looking a little dark in your life. Prayed about it, cried about it, and now you're waiting for an answer. We just want to remind you how God brought you out before. It ain't his first time. So while you waiting, go ahead and praise him. Because if he did it before, he can do it again. Sister, see that you have
some trouble today.
The Father sent me to help you.
Along the way,
Yeah. To make you stronger.
make you strong, and it won't get long before it's over.
Tell them, y'all.
I know
Cause this thing,
the first time,
now it won't be the last time.
be the last time.
These are my lives.
Time I
I learned to trust him.
more.
How?
Never do it before. Now I am learning.
I'm learning to praise him.
Praise without seeing.
And I'll start right now.
Start right now, cause I go in the end.
What's gonna happen?
Gonna do
Say,
it.
y'all sound real good on this. Yeah, he promised to never leave you, nor forsake you. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Yeah. We got just a little bit more to say. Here we go. Have a testimony. Somehow he uses some of the worst things. Yeah, weeping endures. I smile about it. Here we go this way.
The first time,
No, it won't be the last time.
be the last time.
Each one of my
This time I learned
oh,
more.
tell them how y'all now
I am learning
to praise them without seeing it.
without seeing.
Might as well start right now.
Start right now, cause I go in the end.
Tell them what you know.
Gonna do it again. I never see the righteous forsaken.
Hey,
Gonna sing just a prayer.
yeah, think about this.
He's never let you down.
No.
So I believe right now. There's no reason to doubt it.
Don't doubt him.
He's already
He's already working things out. Do that. I hope y'all feeling it. We just trying to encourage you. Because it won't be like this always. But while you're waiting, stop complaining. He's working it out. So get to praising him. And you'll start to feel better. Tell him one more time, y'all.
The first time,
No, it won't be the last time.
be the last time.
You come my
Time
life.
I learned
Yeah.
more.
Wow.
He'll do it before. Now I am learning.
I'm learning to praise him.
Without seeing.
Now start right now.
Start right now, cause I go in the end.
He's gonna do it again. For all my brothers and my sisters, my aunties and uncles, nieces and nephews, I'm just trying to remind you, he ain't forgot about you. No. His word says it. That he's able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that you can ask or think. So you just need to start calling him by his name. That's it. Come on, Michelle. Yeah, say that again. Hey, Dave, grab the mic. Hey,
I seen you do it time and time again. You fall in love, simple. The sky up above, simple, is caving in. Wow! You never been so nuts about a guy you wanna love. You wanna cry, you cross your heart and hope to die. Till it's and then
Ken Edwards chimes in. He says, you can't trust the press release. It's all PR and protecting the asset. And you know what? When I read this press release and I'm looking at, TMZ usually goes hard in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
They usually go pretty hard in the paint. And as I read this, it's like you're reporting without really reporting. You giving us a lot of fluff in here,
Well,
you show the video, and people are going to have their own thoughts on it. But I have to agree with Kenneth Edwards here.
Yeah,
There's something about this article, the way that it reads, is they're trying to find an excuse for him. Now, I will give Dana White some kudos. He does say, he is quoted as saying, you've heard me say for years, there's never, ever an excuse for a guy to put his hands on a woman. And now here I am on TMZ talking about it.
wow.
Well,
He went to
that's
TMZ.
why you shouldn't say stuff like that.
Right.
It's bullying. It's political bullying to believe that under no circumstance should a man ever hit a woman. Now, I want to believe that there are no circumstances.
Right.
But we ain't dealing with the same type of women today. Look, Donna, we live in I had to write this down during the break.
Okay.
We live in a society. This is the society we live in. And if you disagree with me, call in. Give me your disagreement. We live in a society where they are blurring gender lines.
Yeah.
Blurring gender lines.
Yep.
We can't even, there is no men's restroom. And yet, if I, as a black man, educated and all, if I walk into the women's restroom and there are only white women in there, it is going to be a problem.
I don't care what you identify as.
I don't, then the shoot.
Better not do it.
In our society today, everybody wants to promote politically, everybody wants to promote equality. What happened to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps? That's what you told black people. You told black people, if you want to make the wages that white folks make, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Now the NBA can't be the NBA without the WNBA talking about we need to make the same money that the pros make. You haven't even been in existence as long. Your attendance isn't the same.
Right.
We live in a society where people are feminizing men and masculating women. And I'm not talking about the girl who wants to be a dude. I'm talking about females acting like dudes. Like you gonna thug up on a dude. I'm like, I don't know you. You don't know me. I don't know what type of soft dude you used to dealing with, but I'm not one of them. Walk up on me like you want to fight, and I'm going to believe you want to fight. And if you swing on me, I'm supposed to, out of some weird Lucky Charms bag, not defend myself. I want to walk away. I will walk away. I understand I'm stronger, but if you strike me simply because you feel that you are as whatever a man can do, I can do, you strike me, you're going to find out real quick. You're going to find out. And I know what I'm saying right now is not popular, but it needs to be said. Because like I said, you fool around and spit on me. You saw that there was a NFL football game and a woman spit on a dude. I wish you would spit on me.
I saw that.
I'm telling you, I do not know your gender if you spit on me.
He exercised great self-control in that situation.
Here's the thing. And for what? Because now he's weak.
Exactly.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If a man is not going to respond, that's deep kudos. But that means you got to make an arrest because it's an assault. He couldn't respond. Right. You're going to put a man in a situation where if he responds, he looks bad. If he responds, he goes to jail. If he does not respond, cuff her, take her. And ain't no, oh, she's too cute for prison. No, heifer. You going for a while. You don't put your hands on somebody, and because you're a woman and have some weird political rule on one end, men don't put their hands on women, and then on the other end, I can do what I want to do because we live in a equitable world. No, we don't.
Minister Denise says, but some women take advantage of the fact that some men won't hit back. We just watched a trial, Heard versus Depp. That was an example of that very thing.
I get it. And Depp won the lawsuit.
Right.
Heard don't even have the money to give him in the defamation lawsuit.
Right.
She did all kind of lying, what Depp did and all this kind of, and was lying. But that's the kind of society we live in. In Dana White's situation or any celebrity situation, and this is my concern about some of our brothers who are in these mixed race relationships. Because if a girl is non-black and she says you did it, oh, you did it even if you didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm not the one who's against interracial relationships. I believe God has made us all, and out of one blood, all mankind has been created. So even though America has a weird history of interracial relationships, my concern about interracial relationships in this country is because America has not proven mature enough to deal with it. And it's dangerous for the brothers that are in them.
You know, Dion, I'm stepping away from that. Sounds like a topic that we can discuss in the third segment. But you know what? It has occurred to me, feminist point is that women are not weak. Women are strong. Women have the right to have every advantage that men have, except in this kind of situation, suddenly the woman is the weaker vessel. Suddenly she is the one who should have the position of being treated right. And again, domestic violence is not good. But in these situations, suddenly that woman who is strong, who is on point, who is key, who can take care of herself, suddenly she becomes the one who is the victim.
Let me tell you why, and maybe you should write this down as a topic. Let me tell you why feminism is a lie. Why it is a lie. It is what white women try to endorse for themselves. It has never, ever worked for black women. And I'll give you a story as recent as 2 weeks ago. Where was white feminists when Brittany Griner was being held in Russia? Give me a white female feminist who was arguing for her release. And then once she was released, give me a white feminist who praised it. And yet black women in this country are being pushed. I guarantee you, if Dana White was black and his woman was black, they would both been arrested on vacation on New Year's Day. But yet he's available to make interviews with TMZ, he and his wife. And the wife is asking for privacy for the sake of the kids. Really? Here's another part of our society. Not only is it blurring gender lines, promoting equality in a weird way, feminizing men and masculating women. How do you get angry? Here's my last. How do you get angry at a man responding to violence with violence? How do you get angry about that? Because she's a woman? Well, if that's your argument, I don't want to hear nothing about equality. I don't want to hear nothing about feminism. If your argument is he can't use violence
against me,
against it, well, here's the thing. Nothing wrong with a man violent for violent. You slap me, I'm slapping you back. You bite me, I'm biting you back. You take from me, I'm taking it back. But if a woman slaps me, I'm supposed to stand there and accept that. If your position is I cannot strike her back, then I don't want to hear nothing about equality. I don't want to hear nothing. You've canceled yourself. And we're living in these weird paradoxes. We're living in these weird paradoxes that are thoroughly unlivable for us all. But because we're scared of being bullied, we're scared of a bunch of Twitter fingers coming against us, we cower to this stuff. And I'm like, nah, man, I ain't doing it. Here's one thing I learned in the cave, Donna.
What is that?
I'm stronger in my mind than I thought.
There you go.
My mind is hella strong. Right. If I wasn't canceled, if I wasn't killed in the cave, I'm not going anywhere. And so I'm not gonna be this person who's gonna say the political stuff because you don't want people to know you. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna be truthful with it. Gabby Culliver, she chimes in on broadcast. She says, yes, Black women are the most unprotected, and I'm gonna continue to fight for Black women.
Right.
Like I said, if my wife slapped me in Safeway, I guarantee you it'll be a white woman that'll tell the cops, but she hit him first. Arrest her. I guarantee you. They don't care nothing about we've been together for almost 30 years. It'll be, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
And so feminism doesn't work. It has never worked for Black women. Never. And like I said, if it did, where were they during Brittany Griner? White women in this country should have been marching on Washington. They should have been stopped. They should have been at the Capitol. That was their moment. But Brittany Griner was a Black lesbian basketball player.
Did you know that the woman, Gloria Steiner, that a Black woman co-created the feminist movement with her, heard nothing about her until her latter years. I think she just passed away. But she and Gloria Steinem, but who got the press? Gloria Steinem. I did not even know about the Black woman that was in partnership with her to create Ms. Magazine, to be the forerunners of the feminist movement. Again, because the elephant in the room of feminism is race when it comes to the Black woman. It is something that's not touched or dealt with.
When the feminist movement was being birthed in this country and they were starting to do their public marches, they told the Black women to march in the back. They didn't want to make it a civil rights issue.
Right.
But wait a minute, man, do you know how many, lynching went astronomical when white women learned that they can get them some Black dude and then lie about it. I mean, don't give me, these are, we getting off subject right now.
Yes,
we don't went from Dana White to lynching in the South.
Yes.
Jay Rowland chimes in.
Yes.
You are the strongest man I know, sir. Appreciate you, Jay Rowland. Wonderful young man. Let's go. We got a Zoom call. We got unmute Shanina. We got Shanina Shoemate, one of our beloved.
Hey, Shanina.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing
Talk
good.
to us.
I don't know what to say, but this is how I was raised and how my dad raised me. He said, if you pick a fight, you better handle the fight.
Wow.
So he was really big on, if you're gonna talk about it, you're gonna be about it, you got to stand up on it. It don't matter gender. So for me, but he also said, on the other flip side, your words can be like violence, right? Like your words can actually feel like a strife or like a hit in the face or whatever, right? So words have violence to it as well. I don't know. I wasn't there. Okay. I would have been like Donna. I would have ducked. Okay. That's just what you're supposed to do. Everybody a little different. Look, everybody a little different. Okay, a little different. But I think part of it is, whatever that was said, violence wasn't the answer because they're still trying to resolve whatever was said, whatever he said to her, X, Y, and Z. He also has some conflict within himself because he's like, damn, I never thought I would hit a woman, especially my wife. So there's a lot of internal conflicts in there. You've seen it with Will Smith. Don't put your name in my wife's mouth, blah, blah. Went on the stage and slapped somebody. So there's a lot of, I think, internal conflicts that are residue, but we don't see it until like all of a sudden someone says something. Remember, they just said something. They didn't do anything. They didn't go and punch him in the face. They responded in violence. So I think we also have to look at our word choices. And if we know, like, for example, if I know something word-wise triggers you, I'm not going to say that.
Right.
Okay. I'm inciting violence, just the same thing like the insurrection.
Right.
You know, those people are like, you know, Donald Trump said for us to incite a riot. They actually did it. Words have power. So
I will say this, Shanina. A man has got to be disciplined enough that no matter how cutting the words are, he cannot initiate the violence. See, I believe men should not initiate the violence.
Right.
But if what do you define as violence?
I'm slapping you back.
So what is your definition of violence? Is it violence just physical words?
Physical. So like, if you said something to me verbally that was violent, you reduced me to rubble. I should not respond by hitting you like a little boy. Right. I should not be the first to lay hands. When I'm talking about violence, I'm not talking about things said that cause you to want to, slap somebody. Right. I'm not talking about that. I think in that case, a man has got to have some discipline. And sometimes that's hard.
Yeah, I think
if you put hands on me, you change the entire you've changed the entire comportment of my ability to remain what I was trying to be. You push me over the edge. So I might slap you back.
Right.
Now, if you spit on me, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a punch. I'm telling you that right now. And I say that openly because I want people, because some women get bold and I'm gonna just spit on him. Heifer, you better be a track.
Please don't.
You better be Sha'Carri Richardson or something, because I'm gonna run you down I'm just saying. I'm being honest with myself. I'm not even playing with this subject. I'm being honest with myself. But I think Letitia is strong. You notice that's your girl. Letitia is strong. Letitia knows she better not hit me. Because Letitia's the kind of woman that she hits me, she gonna turn my face. She better jump out of a window, run through a door, because I'm coming for her. But she knows that, so she ain't gonna do that.
Right. Well, that's the difference, right? It's knowing your partner's, triggers, right? She's not gonna initiate, she's not gonna be like, I'm going to push this button intentionally and make you want to hit me or do whatever or cause any strife, right? And I think it's just the view on what you deem as violent, right? So your deem as violent sounds like it's physical. My deem as violent is both. It's verbal and physical because I could strike you with my words and I don't have to put a hand on you. Right. I can diminish you just by, doing doubt or making you feel insecure, make you not, do whatever you feel like you were supposed to do. So I think initially, in all relationships, whether friendships, partners, whatever, is that if you know words cut, don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
I don't
and
know.
whatever he said.
Yeah.
Okay. It cut.
Yeah,
because he got slapped.
I put it like this, Shanina. Whatever he said, I bet she ain't gonna say it again.
That part, right? And so I think like in the Facebook chat, I just said you can't make a public what was made in public private. Right. You can't do it.
Nope.
There's no way to do it. It's a public matter. Now, back in the day, without social media and all the technological things, we heard it through, Sister to Sister magazine or Vibe magazine. It was like 2 months, and then all of a sudden we heard about it. It was old news. Now it's hot on the press. People are looking to get, the hot on the press story, give it to TMZ and make a quick buck. Right. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for the call, Shanina.
Appreciate you.
Shanina. Great call.
Yes,
no worries. See y'all.
All right.
Bye.
We got somebody else on the Zoom line. I'm waiting for them to update their name so we can call on them. Okay. Donna, tell where your thoughts at?
Gosh, Dion, we live in a society where there are so many new politically correct philosophies in place that this idea of domestic violence being one of those. If a man is not known to be an abuser, and vice versa. If a woman is not known to be an abuser, is a slap domestic violence, or was it a moment in time? It was a moment in time. But when I think of domestic violence, I think maybe we negate the impact of people who are dealing with that, by saying this was this traumatic moment in time that we need to cancel this individual, where there are people who are dealing with this day in and day out, every day, trying to figure out how to get out of this. And now you have put the spotlight on this slap in time, in moment, which just says, we're not really interested in what you're dealing with. We're just looking at the celebrities, and we're determining they'll be the poster boy for this movement, when women are saying no. It's so much more than that. And there are men who don't say it, because now you got a wife who's abusing you. What kind of man are you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I believe nobody should be putting hands on the other.
Right.
Period. But whoever put hands on,
right,
earneth hands put back on them. I hate to be all King James on you.
Right.
You putteth your hands on me, I might put my hands on you. And if I do, don't cry louder. I was crying and shocked by your action.
Right.
And I look, I hope y'all really hearing my heart on this. I'm not offering equality for domestic violence, although I always was told domestic violence was about power.
Yeah, it is.
Well, if you're quote unquote weaker than me and you strike me, you're trying to bring together.
Keep me in place. You're controlling me.
We're gonna break. We got Sharonda who'll pick her up on the other side. Issues After Dark. It's a good one.
Lord, I'm running, trying to make 199, and I won't do. Lord, I'm running, trying to make 199, and I won't do. Lord, I'm running, trying to make 199, and I won't do. Lord, I'm running, trying to make 199, and I won't do. 99. Yeah.
listening to Issues After Dark with Donna Williams, Deion Evans. Spirited conversation. I want to thank those of you who have been chiming in. You want to call in on the Zoom line? The line is open. 760-765-3953. Passcode is right there on your screen. Blessed, and you'll be able to chime in with us. Donna, let's transition real quick to the next segment. Well, you know what? Jay Rowland. I don't know if he's still listening. I think so. He commented. That young man just got married. Has
congratulations.
And I just want to say congratulations to you, Jay Rowland.
It's a good thing.
On your marriage and having a child, and that's some good stuff.
That's good stuff.
Good
Absolutely.
stuff. I remember that boy when he was like a sophomore. In high school. And I've coached him in football and coached him in basketball, and he's the first kid. I'm gonna tell on him. He's the first kid I learned why kids walk funny in high school.
Okay, and that is because
they don't want to crease their sneakers. So they wear their shoes, right? But they walk so that the shoe never creases.
How do you walk like that?
Creases.
They don't bend their foot?
They don't bend their foot. So they walk like ducks, kind of. He's like, well, why you want your feet hurt? He's like, he got these new kicks. You don't want to crease them. I'm like, what?
What, is there a resale value to not creasing your?
Yeah, these kids, these sneakerheads, man, they don't wear shoes like we wore shoes.
Yeah, my granddaughter's a sneakerhead. I
bet you she don't have no creases in her shoes.
I'm gonna have to check and see. I'm gonna have to look at them and see.
She probably walk funny. She brings her knees up. She put her feet flat on the ground, so she don't roll her ankles. She don't do none of that.
It's too much.
He was the first young man. I was like, y'all are different. You're supposed to be walked in, and y'all letting the shoes walk you. Crazy. So we asked a question about let's get into some topics in the future. But I said that because when I saw Jay Rowland listening to the show, I thought of a conversation Letitia and I had. We were listening to this song. I don't forget the name of the group, but you know the song, Donna. You need a love of your own. You ever heard that song? You need a love of your own.
I never. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, you need a love of your own.
Yeah.
And so Letitia said that would be we got to do a marriage show, and I'm like, oh, word,
yeah,
word. You would like
that.
to do a broadcast on marriage? You and I. That look, I really think the world would enjoy, because Letitia and I are both marriage educators. We've educated. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many couples we've educated in marriage. And what I like about it is we can fight. We're good at it. Oh my God, we are good at fighting. And she got a quick tongue though, so she be rocking me on my heels sometimes because she be in rare form sometimes. And so I think it's a show that married couples would really enjoy. We'll see. Right now, she's just talking. She ain't, maybe we'll test it on a segment down and let you interview us.
Well, I'd love to do that. You made me think of another couple that are very much into healthy marriages, and they have begun an outreach to married couples. So yeah, I'd love to interview.
Remember their names?
Yeah, Jocelyn and Robert Leggett. They also have an outreach to the homeless in the city of Oakland. Every Tuesday they have clothes and food but they also have a heart for married couples, and they are beginning to reach out because they don't believe that the outreach is as strong as it should be, especially to married couples in the church.
Yeah, I don't care about it being in the church. To me, if you're married, being in the church don't make you better.
That's
in a lot of cases it makes you worse.
That's the challenge right there, because
it's
it's ignored.
What are some future shows?
Okay, tonight, as you were talking, some things were popping up to me. That interracial relationship, marriages. I think that's a good topic to dive into, particularly when you have if the man is African American, the compunction, and maybe it's not so, to give the reason for going to quote unquote the other side is because Black women are XYZ, and it's all negative.
You gonna get us killed. If we bring somebody on this show and he talks about the reason why he went to the other side because black women are XYZ, you gonna get us killed, Donna.
That's usually what the argument is, though, for celebrities especially. And I don't understand it. Your mama's black. You got sisters that are black.
Yeah, but see, let me see. I think that'll be a good show because just because you got mama and black sisters don't mean you're happy. Because let me tell you, write this one down, Donna.
Yeah.
Trauma.
Yeah.
The black male-female relationship dynamic. How can two people groups who experience trauma and degradation at the level of American black folks, how do they even get along in a relationship when trauma is their life?
But they don't know it's trauma.
But it is.
I know they haven't recognized it as trauma.
Look, trauma knows trauma. And it's hard for traumatic people to help other traumatic people. It takes a special anointing.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
A special level of healing. Yeah. I would say. But trauma, I like what Gabby says. Trauma bond. Write it right. That's better title.
I got it. Trauma bond.
Trauma bonds.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens when somebody is no longer as traumatic as the other? Ken Edwards says, I literally just heard that from a group of black men. I don't doubt it.
I don't doubt it. Black women not being XYZ.
But see, a lot of black women are believing white feminists. And so here's what's crazy, Donna. You got black women believing white feminists, and the white feminists are going after black men.
What you say?
What are some other topics?
Okay, let's see.
Oh, somebody says that's not an excuse, Dion. I'm not giving excuses. We're just bringing up topics for the future. Just bringing up topics for the future.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying trauma. Trauma must be understood. Oh, hold on. Sharonda gives more. She says trauma is not an excuse. Oh, it is. It's a reason, not an excuse.
It's a reason, yeah.
You got to look at the reason of the trauma. You got to.
Right.
You got to. When you got a black man who feels beat down by the world, it's a certain woman has got to be along his side to help him through that.
Yeah.
When you're a woman and you're not being look, you have black women in this country who are doing everything in their power to look like white feminists. Their hair, their nail colors, their eyes, some are perming their face to change the color. That woman has got to be with a certain dude who understands the trauma she's gone to. When you got two people, especially who are black, in a relationship, and they don't understand each other's trauma, they are going to become trauma for each other.
Yeah.
Just saying, not calling it excuse, but definitely got to be looked at.
Each is looking to the other.
Comes up with something. We're evolving into a more narcissistic. Oh my God.
Yeah.
We need somebody on, Donna. This is why we need a special guest. We need somebody who is trained in teaching the audience on narcissism.
It's an ongoing conversation. It's a trending conversation about narcissism. There are videos on TikTok where people have been in relationships that they have identified that individual was a narcissist. It's a thing these days, and I wonder if everyone labeled narcissist really is.
Well, that's my concern. That's why I can't trust social media defining it. You know, like this whole thing that Stanley brought up about a week ago on hobosexual.
Oh, we need to have a conversation about that.
Yeah, write that down. Hobosexuals. I'm like, bro, number one, I have never heard of that.
Me neither.
But it is something that is real prevalent on social media, and I don't know, are they jokey jokes or I don't know a woman who has ever been burdened by someone she would call a hobosexual. And I don't know any men. I mean, they have literally videos out there. Stanley sent me a bunch of them. That's how I know we're working on that show.
Mm-hmm.
There are literal men out there teaching other men how to be the perfect hobosexual, because this is hobosexual season.
especially this week.
I guess it goes on now until right before Valentine's Day. And in Valentine's Day, they skirt their girl and, go do something else. Weather becomes better, so they go back to being homeless. Yeah, that Ken Edwards is asking, what is a hobosexual? I love it when y'all ask. A homosexual, what, Ken, hope you're sitting down, brother. Because I fooled around and asked this question last week and nearly died. A homosexual is a guy who targets a woman who has her own apartment, her own car. He targets her and becomes her boo thing, becomes her guy, her sex partner, who's cooking for her now because he needs a place to stay. The kind of guy who says, can I stay with you because I ain't got nowhere to go tonight? And she said, yeah. And then, so they're taught to pound her out, to have sex with her that first night that he spends the night, and then fake sleep because she's got to go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
So you got to do this during a day where she's got to get up and go to work in the morning because she's going to let you stay in the bed while she goes to work. And then when she comes back to her apartment, you should have food cooked so that she doesn't have to cook.
Good Lord.
And if she is in a leased apartment, if you can stay there for 14 days with her in that place, you now have a right to the residency. Yeah.
The games people play.
Oh, a man fresh out of prison. Yeah, he probably
so.
Probably so.
Oh,
game
God.
Goofiness.
The games people play.
Donna, what are some other topics you think we should be dealing with?
Okay, let me just throw this out there. I have a book club where we deal with all things Black, the African American timeline in America through literature. And the group is white women. And that's another story how this came to be. We have dealt with all kinds of conversations and read all kinds of literature and really done a deep dive that I, number one, appreciate that they didn't run away screaming and didn't jump ship. But here's the thing. As I have been involved in this, the idea of when it comes to race relations and white people coming alongside to support Black people, I have to ask, are they an ally or are they an advocate? An ally is one who says, I will support you as you move through this process, but I won't try to take over. This is my mindset. An advocate is that one who says, I will advocate for you, but it will be my voice that leads the conversation. Does that make sense? And so,
called the woke movement.
Yeah, the woke movement. There you go. That the ally says, no, the advocate says, we should no longer have Aunt Jemima on the label. Let's wipe out that history, that positive history that goes with this label, and let's in turn put on a label that says nothing to how this all came to be. The advocate says, look, that murder of Emmett Till was awful, but we're going to put y'all a statue in Money, Mississippi to show that we remember how terrible that was. What I want to know is how has the community changed? The ally says, let us support you in this conversation. So it's, are you an ally or are you an advocate?
You remember Miss Buttersworth?
Yes.
The syrup. Remember when they permed her hair and slimmed her behind a little bit?
But who asked for it? The advocate? The advocate.
Nobody was asking for it.
Right.
She had a crunchy fro underneath that hat.
Right.
Now she got a perm and a bob.
Right.
Next thing you know, she'll look more like Kim Kardashian. Aunt your Kim. I'm just saying.
And so as long as they keep patting us on the head and see, now, don't you feel good about what we just did? That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. We can have those discussions. What are some other, those of you who are listening, give us some of your topic ideas. We want to write them down. We want to write those topics down. We got one more segment after this. And so we got a little bit of time to get to some of y'all. Bombard us with topics. No topic is unworthy. We'll figure it out. It's Issues After Dark. Donna Williams, Deion Evans. We'll be back.
I'm gonna tell you about a man named Jesus. I don't care what you need, he will do it. Suddenly, it don't take all day or night, but he will do it suddenly.
Scott, Tucker, hey.
Just got to remind our listeners that I always use secular songs when we come back from whatever commercial breaks and stuff like that. You know, just kind of like, you know, a little variety to what we're doing.
Yes, indeed.
But no song I played means I know the song. All I know about that song is pick up the phone. That's all I know. If they talking crazy, I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what they're saying. But you're listening to Issues After Dark. It's our final segment of the night. We got a lot to still get in.
Yeah.
Gabby's been blessing us.
Yeah.
She comes up with church hurt. How to recover and reconnect after experiencing church hurt. Now, you got to write that one down, though. I in the past have said, look, there's no such thing as church hurt. But I've had to change my thoughts on that because there's no such thing as church hurt as it relates to a biblical concept.
Right.
But when you're a part of a local assembly and things turn sour for one reason or another, I think it's its own diagnosis.
It is.
Well, I think the diagnosis of church hurt is real.
Oh, yeah. Been there, done that.
It is real.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, if you're honest about it, it hurts deeper because it's a place you never thought you were supposed to get hurt.
Not supposed to happen there.
Not supposed to happen there. What did Jesus say? Come unto me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest.
Right.
You know what, Donna? Write that one down. Because let me tell you something. Now that I think about that one, Jesus said that without salvation being a measuring stick. He said, come unto me, all ye who are labored and heavy laden, I will give you rest. Right. And he offered that before Calvary. Oh, we got to open that up.
Ooh.
Ken Edwards Jr., he comes on and says, you couldn't pay me $1 million to attend another church. Okay, maybe $1 million. Not a penny less.
Right.
I feel you.
That's a good question.
I feel you, Kenneth, and I am a pastor teacher. I'm not, look, I ain't gonna lead a young man out there by himself.
Right.
I ain't going. If I'm asked to come preach or come teach at a local church, I'll be there. And I'm gonna always be prepared. But the idea of getting up on Sunday and sitting in a pew to experience 2.5 hours that could have been wrapped up in 20 minutes. I'm not doing it. And it took me a long time to get to that place. And I know a lot of people, Dion, why would you say that? Well, because I don't wait till Sunday. I'm doing something for Jesus every single day. So that 2.5 hours you spent on Sunday and you felt you were doing something special, man, I got that done on Monday. I'm doing more for Jesus in time than you're doing sitting there waiting on ushers to walk around the offering plate with a fist in the middle of their back.
Oh yeah, you haven't been in church in a while. Then they don't do that anymore. They have boxes on the doors.
I am the church.
Here's the thing, and I hear your point, and your point's well taken. But you know what a trigger that is for that one who just cannot break away from that connection?
But see, that's the problem. See, and write this down. Habit attendance.
Habit attendance. Yeah.
Do you think God is blessed that you're going on Sunday by habit? That's some BS. I ain't talking about bologna sandwich. I ain't talking about Bible study. If you're going to the building every Sunday being faithful, that don't impress God.
Yeah.
Come on, cut it out. What did you do on Tuesday afternoon for Jesus? What'd you do on Thursday night?
Yeah.
And don't tell me I went to choir rehearsal. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. If what you do for Jesus, the majority of that time is on Sunday, you're playing.
You just triggered another.
You ain't even around the poor. You're not even around those that are in need. You're not even around the sick. You're not going to the convalescent. You're not looking for people while you're ordering your coffee in Starbucks and praying for them in silence. You never walk up on. You got to walk up on them and say, "Can I pray for you?" No, you just sitting there and you looking for people come through the door, and the Lord you can sit there for an hour and just be praying for people. They don't even know you're praying for them.
Right.
If you do the total sum of time you spend for Jesus directly, and if the majority of that time is on Sunday, you playing.
You just triggered another thought. What?
She came up with one. I'd really like a conversation about tithes.
Ooh, Creflo Dollar turned the tables on tithes.
Yeah, we got to have a conversation about tithes.
I just had another thought when you were talking about church, the entertainment of worship.
Oh, yeah. Put that down.
The entertainment of worship.
Hallelujah. Like if you don't say hallelujah regularly, I'm slap you across your head. And I'm glad she put tithes. Because
Yeah.
first we need to learn how to pronounce it right.
Tides.
Most people call it tides.
Isn't it TIDES? It's not TIDES.
Watching the ships roll in. I'm just saying. Hey, I got a couple, Donna.
Yes.
Celibacy after sexual.
Ooh.
We got to have that conversation. And we want to have some real guests on that day.
Oh, Jamal Bryant addressed that in
Sure did.
his video.
Sure did. Sure did. And you know what made me think that we had to address it? Is the whole idea of women's bodies shut down if they start and then don't use it. I've never heard that in my life.
I can't
So
say.
celibacy after sexual. We need to have a conversation. You can't look and look, cut the stuff about re-virginity. What's that? What was that you used to say? The re-virginizing. Cut that crap out.
I've never heard that, but I understand.
Don't play yourself like that.
I understand.
What about a conversation on teen sex and updated conversation? Conversations you used to have with teens about sex, those conversations need to be updated.
Updated.
Wrong marriage matters. Wrong marriage matters. Some people are in marriages that were not designed by God, but they're in them because the word marriage is being used. And yet God is still not in it.
Which brings me to the thought, people are always talking about soulmates. I'm looking for my soulmate. I don't believe there are soulmates before marriage.
I don't believe there's soulmates at all. I don't believe even in marriage there's soulmates.
So the myth of soulmates.
Let's talk about it. I'm pretty sure somebody has some thoughts on it. Let's put what is forgiveness? What is forgiveness? I mean, I'm talking about biblical forgiveness.
Yeah.
We hear people using that word forgiveness. What is forgiveness? Okay. Ooh, Gabby came up with one.
Soul ties.
And you talk about cutting soul ties. Yeah. What happens if you do believe it and now it's got you stuck?
Yeah.
And we got to get an interview soon with Mr. Mo Kelly. Yeah. We got to get one with Mr. Mo Kelly because he started a new variety project on KFI. And we need to catch up with him because he launched out of our work. So we want to keep up with that phenomenal brother. Okay. Give me your final thoughts, Donna. We got about 30 seconds.
Great conversation. Great conversation tonight. Great topics that have come up as we are brainstorming through the idea of domestic violence. That should be another topic where we take a look at what is real domestic violence versus a moment in time. Just thank you for the conversation. Thanks for everybody chiming in. Good show. Good show.
Yeah, this is a great broadcast. Like I said, as we get our feet more and more under, get our media chops doing our thing, thank you, Kenneth Edwards. Great show. Good job, Dion and Donna. That's what's up. We'll be back tomorrow, you guys. And tomorrow, I'm going to tell y'all now, Donna is responsible for all the subjects tomorrow.
Hold me in your thoughts and prayers, please.
Will there be one? You are nuts for that. You see how she brought that all the way back full circle? That was good, Donna. That was good.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow's conversation. Great job by all of you. This show is always better when you're listening and you're engaging with us. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Letitia and Seth, for keeping it down while I'm doing my thing in the nighttime hours. You're listening to Issues After Dark. Donna Williams, Dion Evans. Good night.
Good night.
And God bless you.
Yes.
You have been listening to Issues After Dark with Donna Williams and Dion Evans. Follow updates regarding Issues After Dark on Bitter Cup Media. Follow Bitter Cup Media on your favorite social media platform. Listen live each night, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Join the conversations and please ensure your support. Donations to support this broadcast can be sent to Cash App, Venmo, or Zelle at Bitter Cup Media. And as our hosts would say, good night and God bless you.
I'm Mo Kelly. You are listening to Issues After Dark with my friends Donna and Dion.
Thank you for tuning in to Bitter Cup Media for your broadcast needs. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Search Bitter Cup Media. Tell a friend, coworker, or family member to join you in listening to our cutting-edge radio broadcast. Remember this, even if our hearts condemn us, God is greater than our hearts, and He knows all things. Bitter Cup Media, signing off.
Clap your hands. Clap your hands, everybody. Praise Him because you're still standing. Praise Him because you're still here. Praise Him because all things work together. Hey, y'all clap your hands. Let's celebrate. Let's dance in here. Come on. Oh. Oh. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on. You're not jumping. You're not praising. Oh. Yeah. 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 Ow. Yeah.